Good evening, everyone. This time we are left with the last section of your syllabus, that is analysis of interpersonal relationship and power and politics. So let's start with analysis of interpersonal relationships and power and politics. So if we are going to look for the interpersonal relationship analysis of that, we'll see that it will reveal of psychological frameworks that eliminates how we communicate, connect, and grow in our relationships with others. Transactional analysis is a kind of psychological theory and therapeutic approach developed by psychiatrist Eric Berne in 1950. And it provides a framework for understanding the human behavior, communication, and relationship. Transactional analysis is based on the idea that individuals have three ego states, if you're going to see. One is the parent, adult, and the child. And that communicates and interactions can be analyzed through these three states. All the communication and interactions, they can be analyzed through these three states. First is the parent's state, which says it represents your thoughts, your feelings, your behaviors copied from your parents or any authority figure, if under which under whom the influence of are you. Under the adult state, it involves a processing information objectively, making decisions based on facts and responding to the present moment. As a child, it reflects thoughts, feelings, and behaviors replayed from childhood, including both adaptive and maladaptive aspects. Transaction and life processes. Life positions. Transactions are the basic units of social interactions and communication. They can be complementary, right? Like from parent to parent, adult to adult, and from child to child. Or it can be crossed as well. Communication involves through different ego states, leading to potential misunderstandings and conflicts, right? Individuals, they develop life positions like from basic attitudes or belief about self and others based on early life experience, right? It says that these four kind of things you can see over here, I'm okay and you are okay. It will be showing your positive position, like healthy positions both are in. But if you're saying I am okay, you are not okay, it means individuals, they see themselves as more capable, but others, they feel like they are not efficient as they are. I am not okay, you are okay. So here the individuals will see themselves as deficient, that I am not perfect, but see other as more capable. I'm not okay, you are not okay. This is the highly pessimistic and negative kind of personality traits, like negative view of self and others. Those who are watching themselves as negative and view others as negative as well. Stocks, games, and scripts. Now, what are these stocks? Are units of recognition, attention, and communication. Positive stocks, they are going to be affirmative, supportive, while negative stocks are critical and disapproving interactions. Scripts are what? Scripts refers to the lifespan or the story individuals develop based on early decisions and experiences. It includes decisions, kind of early, often unconscious determinations about self and others, and scripts, repeated pattern of behaviors that support the life plan. Games are repetitive patterns of behavior characterized by ulterior motives and hidden agendas. The examples here to quote are, why don't you? Yes, but if it weren't for you, and see what you made me do. So these the rackets, fourth one, are the strategies individual develop to get stocks and meet their needs. such as seeking attention, withdrawing, and being overly compliant. The applications of transactional analysis is therapeutic application, organizational development, and education as well. So under the heading therapeutic applications, it includes contracting, establishing agreements and goals, analysis of transactions, means identifying the patterns in communication, and reparenting, like addressing unmet childhood needs through therapeutic interventions. Organizational development. It is used in understanding communication patterns and improving relationships in the workplace. And in education, it is applied in teaching and learning to enhance the communication and understanding among the students and the educators. Critics and controversies, if we see, critics, they argue that the TA oversimplifies the complex psychological phenomena and has limited empirical evidence. While widely used, some professionals question its validity as a standalone therapeutic approach. Despite criticism, many practitioners find it a useful tool for enhancing self-awareness and facilitating the positive change. Now, Jory's windows, if you are going to see, this Jory's windows is a psychological model developed by the psychologists Joseph Loft and Harrington and Engam in 1955. This model, actually, it is a tool used to enhance the self-awareness and mutual understanding among the individuals within a group. 4 quadrants it consists of, and each representing a different aspect of information about an individual. One is an open area, blind spot, hidden area, and unknown area. So information known to both self and others. Here it is an open area, so it will be an open, transparent, and shared information, including the skill, experience, and behavior as well, which are evident to others. Hidden area means information known to the individual but not disclosed, something which is there with us but we are not ready to share it with others, like maybe my personal feelings, my thoughts, my fears, my insecurities, or the some private matters which I don't want to discuss with other publicly. Blind spot is information unknown to the individual but known to the others. So there are kind of things which are, known to others, but to a person himself or herself, this information is not known. This is the unconscious or unrecognized behaviors, traits, or feelings that feedback can reveal. Only through the process of feedback you can get to know that what are the information which is not known to an individual, but it is visible to others. Unknown areas means information neither known to individual and not to neither to individual and not to others. So these are the unconscious kind of aspects which are there between you. Undiscovered potential is something there, and unrecognized traits, sometimes these come under this category. How the Jory's windows work. So it will be working through feedback, through self-disclosure, trust and communication, and it will be revealing your personal growth as well. Applications of Zori windows, it includes your personal development, improves the interpersonal relationship, it will be help to foster the team building, provide a framework for conflict resolution and help develop effective communication skills. Despite critics regarding subjectivity, cultural differences, and limited application in complex situations, the jury's windows remains a popular tool for promoting self-awareness and fostering the interpersonal development. Like stalking in transactional analysis. In context of transactional analysis, stalking refers to the basic unit of social interaction, recognition and acknowledgement exchange between the individuals. Stalks can be verbal, non-verbal, or they play a very crucial role in human relationships, influencing our emotions, attitudes, and behavior as well. So stalking is what? It's a unit of recognition or acknowledgement as well, whether it is a positive or a negative exchange between the individual. It's a way of saying, I see you and I acknowledge your presence as well. Types of stalks, positive, negative, we have already talked about it, like giving compliments, praise, and expression of kindness. And negative will include the criticism, blaming others, and expressions of disappointment. Stalking patterns and impacts, if we are going to talk about, are stalking patterns, conditional stalks and unconditional stalks, like given based on meeting certain conditions or expectations, such as praising someone for achieving a goal, that will be a conditional, and conditional will be without specific condition. It's a recognition of a person's inherent value, irrespective of their actions and achievement. Stock economy. Stock economy refers to the balance or exchange of stocks within a relationship. In a healthy relationship, there is a balanced exchange of positive stocks contributing to a positive emotional climate. A stock deficit occurs when individual feels a lack of recognition or positive acknowledgement, leading to potential dissatisfaction and relationship issues. Right? Stalking and emotional well-being. Yes, positive stalk contribute to emotional well-being, satisfaction, and a positive look on life. Experiencing a deficit of positive stalks or frequent negative stalks, if they are there, can lead to emotional distress, stress, and dissatisfaction. They all will come. Understanding the dynamics of stalking is very, very crucial for creating and maintaining healthy and positive relationships. It involves not only giving and receiving stocks, but also being mindful of the quality and impact of these exchanges on emotional well-being. Now we'll see organizational power and politics. Power and politics, they both are the integral aspects of workplace dynamics, influencing decision-making, relationship, and organizational functioning. Power refers to the ability to influence others and achieve desired outcomes, while politics involves the activities individual engage into gain power, influence, and achieve personal objectives within an organizational context. What is an organizational power? Power within an organization manifests in various forms, including it will start from the formal authority, from hierarchical positions, expert power from knowledge and skills, referent power based on personal relationship and charisma, reward power linked to providing rewards, and coercive power involving punishment and withdrawal of rewards. Now, distribution and use of power is very dynamic and shift over times. Power dynamics are influenced by organizational culture, individual relationship, and the ability to control critical resources, right? Thus, by recognizing the legitimacy and the acceptance of power as well as understanding dependency is essential for effective leadership and organizational management. If we watch it from more explanatory point of view, The organizational politics revolves around the activities individual engaged into advance their interest, gain influence, and achieve personal goals within the organizational framework. Politics manifests through informal networks, behind the scene decision making, influence tactics, how you can influence others, and the strategic use of information, right? Now, the perception of fairness and justice plays a crucial role in shaping the political climate, and ethical consideration are central to distinguishing between legitimate political behaviors and unethical practices. Organizational politics is often intervened with conflict and competition as individuals or groups vie for resources, recognition, and career advancements. So, these all go hand in hand. Nature of organizational power. Sources of power are what? Formal authority. It is derived from an individual positions within the organizational hierarchy. Expert power arise from one's knowledge, skill, and expertise. That will be expert power. Referent power based on personal relationship, if you have likability and charisma as well. And reward power, it originates from the ability to provide rewards. And coercive power is it involves the use of punishment or the ability to take away the awards. So these are the different kind of powers which are really very, very important in any of the organization, and they play their role very well. Key aspects of power dynamics. This is dynamic and shifting because power dynamics within the organization, if we are say, they are the kind of fluids and can change over times because powers they change from time to time. Individual or groups they may gain or lose power based on the circumstances. They may get the power of doing something or they may not. And power bases or what power can be derived from different bases. कैसे? Such as information, this for the in any of the decision making, in making some network connections and control over critical resources. Influence tactics. Individuals they use various tactics to exert influence, including persuasion, coalition, building manipulation, and collaboration. So these are the kind of influence tactics with because on these tactics you can empower the other person. Empowerment means it involves the delegating authority and decision making to lower levels in the organization. It can enhance your motivation, job satisfaction, and overall organizational effectiveness. Power and leadership. Leadership is closely tied to power as well, as effective leaders often possess the ability to influence and motivate others. Nature of organizational politics. Influence on decision making. Politics can impact your decision making process as well, as individual or groups may pursue their interests sometimes at the expense of organizational goal. Informal networks they play a very significant role in organizational politics. Individual may form alliance or connection to enhance their political influence and advance their agendas. Conflicts and competition. Political behaviors often arise from conflicts of interest and competition for resources, promotions, or recognition. This can lead to both constructive and destructive political activities. Political dynamics in organization. It based on perception and image, like it is influenced by the individual perception of fairness, justice, and equity, and perceived lack of fairness can contribute to increased political behavior. Ethical consideration. Politics in organization can be ethical, can be unethical as well. Ethical political behavior involves a legitimate influence tactics, while unethical political behavior may include deception, manipulations, and sabotage. Organizational culture. The culture of an organization can either foster or discourage political behavior. Yes, it can. Like if a kind of open communication is there, transparency, more of transparency, and a culture of trust may mitigate the negative political influences. So, conclusion is that the dynamic nature of power and politics, like organizational power and politics, if we are going to see, these are the intrinsic aspect of any complex work environment, right? Power is the ability to influence others, making decision and taking control over the resources. Like otherwise, the politics kya hai? These are the kind of strategies or behavior individuals employ to navigate and gain advantage within the organization. So they both play a very crucial role in shaping the organizational dynamics, cultures, and outcomes. Critical consideration for organizations, which the organization need to take care of. Influence on decision making. Power influences your decision making process, determining who has a say in critical choices and resources allocation, right? It will be, of course, it will be helping into an employee engagement as well. Perception of fairness in power distribution affect the employee engagement and commitment. Leadership influence. Leaders, they hold a very significant power, and their leadership style impact power dynamics and political climate. Organizational culture. This power dynamics and political behaviors, they contribute very significantly to the formation of the organizational सारा culture जो है, that depends on it, both on the political behaviors and the power dynamic that set the culture of an organization. Conflicts and cooperation also as well, because power struggles and political maneuvering can lead to both conflict and cooperation within the organization. Ethical considerations. So the organization, they must navigate the ethical dimensions of power and politics to maintain the trust and morale of the employees. So strategic management and organizational change. Now, thus by understanding the strategic management, after recognizing and understanding power and politics is crucial for effective strategic management, organizations that navigate power dynamics strategically are better positioned to achieve their goals and adapt to the changing environment. Those who are going to navigate power dynamics strategically. Organizational change, of course, power and politics की जब हम बात करें तो they play a significant role in the success and failure of the organizational change initiatives. So leaders, they must navigate resistance, build coalitions, and use power judicially to implement successful change. Basis of power in organization. In organizational behavior, power refers to the what? The ability of an individual or group to influence other and achieve the desired outcome. This is only the means of power for a organizational working with the ethical issues. Understanding the resources and dynamics of power is essential for effective leadership and organizational success. So if we see from French and Raven in 1959, they identified the 5 fundamental bases of power that shape, influence relationship in organizational settings. These power bases determine how leaders motivate, guide, and impact their teams. 5 bases of power. What are they? First is the legitimate power, reward power, and coercive power. Legitimate power is what? Legitimate power is, it is derived from the formal position or the authority within the organizations. Now the managers and executives, they hold a legitimate power. They have the power by virtue of their hierarchical position, because they are sitting on a position. So they have the that kind of power with them. Reward power is what? Stems from the ability to provide rewards or incentives, right? Rewards can and incentives, they can be both tangible and intangible. Tangible in terms of salary promotion, salary increment or promotions as well, and intangible when you are giving praise to someone, when you are giving a kind of recognition to somebody, so in kind of giving some authority, that is an intangible rewards. If we are going to see it from the point of view of coercive power, based on the ability to administer punishment and impose negative consequences for non-compliance through threats and sanctions, that is called as coercive power. Referent and expert power, what is that? Key characteristics are, it is rooted in personality qualities, characteristics, and charisma, right? Uh, Key characteristics are strong interpersonal skills if you have emotionally intelligent, if you are ability to build rapport and trust amongst others, and if you have the power to inspire admiration and respect. Expert power is what? Expert power derived from the knowledge, your specialized knowledge, your skills, your expertise in a particular domain, right? Individuals are perceived as credible, trustworthy authorities in their field. So key characteristics are specialized knowledge, technical competence, provide valuable guidance, and highly valued in knowledge intensive industries. Additional forms of power are what? Informational, connection, and charisma. Information, when you have control over access to critical information and data that other needs to perform their roles effectively. Connection, influence derived from social networks, relationships, and connections with key stakeholders. And charisma is a kind of part which is based on personal charms, charisma and attractiveness that naturally draws people and influence their behavior. Dependence in power relationships. Now, these kind of relationships, the power relationships, they revolve around dependence, where individual or groups rely on others to fulfill their needs, achieve the organizational goal, and obtain valuable resources. Understanding dependence is essential for comprehending the dynamics of influence, authority, and control. So we will see dependence as source of power. Yes, control over valuable resources or critical skills create influence over those who depend on them. Dependence as constraint. Reliance on others can compel compliance and create vulnerability in part relationships. Force and interdependence is always there because mutual reliance, when parties depend on each other to achieve their goals and objectives. Power asymmetry and dependency relationships. Power asymmetry is what? Dependence contributes to power asymmetry. How? When one party holds the significantly more power and control than the others, it will be a lead to the power asymmetry. This arises from difference in status, authority, access to resources, and control over decision making. And dependency relationships is what? It characterized by unequal power dynamics where one party is more dependent on the other for support, approval, and resources. The dependent party may feel vulnerable, leading to insecurity, resentment, and exploitation. They will feel like this. Now, dependency reduction strategies should be employed in an organization. Diversify sources should be there of support and sources to reduce the reliance on single power holder, so that there should not be a power in a single hand so that he can manipulate others. Develop alternatives. Alternatives should always be there, right? To enhance the autonomy and flexibility, build alliances, forming alliances or networks to increase bargaining power and collective influence. These kind of alliances should be there. Enhance capabilities. Developing skills and capabilities to reduce reliance on others and in others. Increase self-sufficiency. Power tactics in organization. What are they? Power tactics refers to the kind of strategies and techniques being developed by the individual used to influence others, achieve goals, and assert the authority. So there will be a rational persuasion, coalition building, and ingratitude. The rational persuasion is what? When you are giving the logical arguments, you are giving the evidence, you are giving the reason to persuade others, right? Coalition building is what? When you are forming alliances and partnership to increase power, your power and influence by mobilizing support from like-minded individuals. So that is called as a coalition building. And ingratiation is what? It is by using flattery. The persons, those who are in a system of using flattery, complimenting other, taking favors to gain approval and build positive relationship with the influential stakeholders, that is called as ingratiation. Additional power tactics are what? Consultation, legitimacy, personal appeals, exchange, pressure, and upward appeal. Consultation is what? Seeking input and feedback from others to build consensus and demonstrate respect for their perspectives. Legitimacy is what? Asserting authority based on formal position. When you are giving your authority based on your position, your expertise, or organizational norms and values. Personal appeals is what? Appealing to the feelings of loyalty, friendship, and personal connections to gain support when you're going to get that. Exchange, offering rewards and incentives. If somebody is cooperating with you, even that is called as an exchange. And pressure is what? Putting threats and demands to compel compliance, to achieve compliance, though this can damage the relationship if overused. Upward appeal is what? Seeking support from higher authority to influence behavior and decisions of others. That is called as upward appeal. Effective power management. This effective power management is what? Effective use of power requires a nuanced understanding of its sources, dynamics, and consequences. Key principles of responsible power. They use the balance different bases of power appropriately, adapt approach to fit specific situations and context, cultivate trust and build strong relationships, foster open communication and transparency, and align power use with organizational values and promote equitable and mutually beneficial dynamics. The political behavior in organization. It is a very complex phenomena actually that shapes the organizational dynamic, influencing how individual competes for resourcing, navigating power structures, and pursue their interest. Causes of political behavior. There are multiple factors which drive the political behavior in organization, right from resource scarcity to cultural norm. This causes create environments where individuals feel compelled to engage in strategic, self-interested actions. Scarce resources are what? When competition intensifies, limited budgetary allocations, proportions, and recognition. Limited budgetary allocations, promotions, recognitions, and advancement opportunities drive individuals to compete aggressively for their share. Political tactics, if they are there, emerge. Coalition building, favoritism is there. Information hoarding becomes common strategies to secure resources from oneself or one's group. Key organizational drivers. What are they? Ambiguity and uncertainty, of course, unclear goals, expectations, etc. And power imbalances, where there is a concentrated power drives individuals to use flattery, manipulation, and sabotage to challenge authority or gain control over decision making and resources. Organizational culture, of course, Cultures valuing competition and individualism foster more political behavior than those emphasizing collaboration, transparency, and ethical conduct. Individual and leadership factors. इसमें perceived inequity आ जाएगी, feeling of unfairness and marginalization that will be triggering your political tactics like whistleblowing, alliance formation, and seeking external support to address the grievances. Individual differences, of course, if it is there, that will be also leading to these kind of behavior, leadership styles. If there is an autocratic, manipulative, and secretive leaders, they foster culture of distrust and competition. So increasing political behavior among employees, that will increase. In contrast, if there is a transparent, fair, and they promote trust, collaboration, and reduce political tactics through integrity and openness. What are the consequences of political behavior? What will it creates kind of ripples that affect throughout the organization, impacting the performance, morale, long-term viability, right? So understanding these consequences help organizations develop mitigation strategies. So dysfunctional conflicts, right? Because manipulation and sabotage will be eroding the trust and cooperation, hindering the collaboration and teamwork will be hindered. Performance will be decreased. Trust will be broken. Broader organizational impact. Employees, they feel stress and burnout. There will be a resistance to change. There will be damage to organizational reputation, and there will be loss of organizational cohesion. Right, students? So this was all about the today's topic. So here we are finishing everything for this particular subject. Thank you so much for attending the class. I wish you good luck for this particular exams, right? So you need to go through the topics very extensively. Still, if you are feeling any kind of help, my personal number is always with you. You can ask me for any kind of queries if you have in future. So once again, I wish you good luck and bye-bye for today. And we'll be meeting in the next class, right? Next time. Anything you would like to ask? No queries? Thank you so much then. You can leave the class.
Thank you, ma'am.
So you can join the class for the Viva at 5 o'clock. Google Meet link I'm going to share. Right? Thank you so much.